Welcome back, YouTubers, to our No Way Out review of us, the dynamic dudes, the British Fist.
Gotcha.
Mr. Parkin here. This guy sitting next to me, you know who he marks out for. It's none other than NJ.
What's up?
And his two favourite wrestlers are on the show, so you think that we're going to get some good reactions from him tonight. Subscribe above, like this video, put any comments or thoughts you have on this pay-per-view, No Way Out, down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link to the description box below.
Indeed, and I think going into this show, we kind of weren't really that interested, but we thought that we may get some good wrestling, so it may be worth a watch. We started off with the pre-show. We knew we were going to get Otunga versus the Funkasaurus, and with the whole injury playing in there, you kind of knew that this may be a slightly more competitive match than is usual for a Brodus Clay squash match, for example.
Well, going into No Way Out, before we go too far ahead, going to No Way Out, I did have some thoughts about it because the build had been a bit messed up, as we said in our preview, but there was some matches and stuff that I was looking forward to and hoping they paid out. So obviously I went into this with hoping that things work out for the best. And when you get to this pre-show, like I said in the preview, I really thought that this match should have been on the card and replacing the entertainment match that we're getting later. But it was here, and it was okay for what it was, but as you knew the match was going on, you knew what was coming. They made Otunga look okay in this match, but we still knew the result.
I'll say this one thing, at least unlike most Brodus Clay matches, they allowed David Otunga to get some heat by working on the knee and everything, and he gets counted out as well, so Brodus Clay still gets a victory, and Otunga doesn't look that weak because he actually managed to work on the knee of Brodus Clay. So,
but the thing is about this match is that, yes, they did it by count-out, but there was no need to do a count-out. Otunga's not going to be wrestling much anymore. So why make it end of the count just so they can wrestle again? I don't really care. Otunga's not going to wrestle anymore. So they should have had a clean finish with Otunga and then moved on to the rest of the card.
I guess they're trying to continue the feud, possibly. They do need to give Brodus Clay a feud, so they might as well start off with David Otunga, that's all I say. The lawyer against the big fat dancer. We also had a Fatal 4-Way #1 contender tag match announced for the show. We'll move on to our thoughts onto that when the match actually comes. We opened up the show, and I wasn't really too surprised with this. With Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler, mainly for the World Heavyweight Championship, mainly because it was kind of last minute and it was kind of a filler match. And usually these kind of matches, you know, will get on put first because you're not going to have a Divas match or a tag match or the entertainment match start off the show, are you? You're going to start it off strong somehow.
Sadly, when the WWE come to the World Heavyweight, in a way they show how important it is by having it as the opener. And it really is a bit sad because Sheamus is our SmackDown champion, so we need to give him importance. But from WrestleMania to this, not really much importance there. And Ziggler, if they're really going to think of putting him into the main event and they give him the opener, yes, he's got a World Championship match, but it's been the opener. That's my only downfall, having it as the opener. But of all the other matches, I guess it was the best place to have it. But I just question it a little bit. I
guess with Ziggler just being kind of like a filler feud, they're just kind of putting it out there to open. It was a good match to start off the show. The one thing that immediately caught my attention straight away was how much the crowd liked Dolph Ziggler. They were really behind Dolph Ziggler in this match, weren't they? Apart from, you got the big baby face in there, Sheamus, that WWE are pushing. And Ziggler was getting the best reaction out of the two, by far.
And that's the thing, because with quite a few fans I know, they're behind Ziggler all the way, thinking an entertaining wrestler, a wrestler that deserves to be moved up from where he is at. So for the fans there, majority of the fans there, to be cheering him, should hopefully give the WWE direction or an idea that he is what fans want to see. But this match was definitely a good one for it.
Yeah, I mean, they both worked pretty well in the ring. And I would believe Dolph Ziggler could be in a main event picture if he was booked a lot better. But because of the fact he isn't booked that very well and he was a last-minute replacement, you kind of knew Sheamus was obviously going to win this. So your suspending of the suspense of disbelief was kind of not there, in my opinion. They put on a great match, but you never thought for 1 second that Ziggler would actually win it.
Well, to get to the result at the end, I'd say this. They did pretty good job with both of them. Yes, there were times when Ziggler could have got the win, but the WWE weren't going to do that at this moment in time. But I did feel like this was a good competitive match. We spoke about the crowd reaction. The thing about the crowd reaction, I heard Vicky more than the crowd. Yeah, and I thought, yeah, she's pretty vocal. But yeah, it was a pretty good opening match.
Vicky may have a little mic in her somewhere, I don't know. So despite some sloppy moments, it was a good opener in my opinion. Santino versus Ricardo Rodriguez. You know what? I was expecting at least an entertaining segment out of these guys, but you know when the crowd is chanting, boring, boring, this really had no business being on a pay-per-view and probably should have been on the pre-show, really.
That's what we said. And the thing about this match is that the rules of this match were pretty outrageous and stupid. I wouldn't mind them wrestling in tuxedo, but having to strip each other. Yes, they've had bra and panty matches in the past. Even men have even done those matches.
Oh, God.
But with this match, it was meant to be entertainment, but it failed. And all I can think from this match is the next step from this would actually be defend that US Championship. I know it's a match that normally you won't see again, but at least it's a feud for the belt in a way that has been built up over the last couple of weeks.
To be honest, Santino does need to lose that belt because that belt is losing credibility every week with that guy. Shouldn't really lose it to Ricardo, but give the belt to someone else because if he's going to be booked in matches like these, we don't want him as the US champion.
And the ending entertainment for this was that Rodriguez wears Del Rio on his pants.
I guess he is his butler. Ring announcer, I don't know. We got Christian versus Cody Rhodes next. In a match which I was kind of looking forward to was for the Intercontinental Championship. You know, going into this match, I wasn't very pleased with the amount of build they gave this, but I was still interested in seeing the match. I like the way how Rhodes are kind of like, it seemed like he scouted Christian's moveset, like he sort of trained for this match a little bit, didn't he? Because he was dodging Christian's maneuvers and stuff, and that set up what was potentially be a good match.
That's the thing, because I think with this match, they do work really well together. There weren't much faults with this match. The thing I noticed about this is that even though they were concentrating on Christian keeping the belt at the end, Cody Rhodes was booked unbelievably well in this. It was actually showing him as a ex-IC champion, a really good one, and a future World Heavyweight champion. This match, yes, Christian didn't do as much as I was hoping for, but the concentration is still on Cody Rhodes, as he is going to take a step further than where Christian is now at.
And to be honest with you, the way they had Christian go over here in that really nice ending sequence, these guys obviously had great in-ring chemistry, and you expect that from two good workers. Do you think they're going to set up Cody Rhodes after this for maybe a run of Money in the Bank, possibly?
Well, with there being a possibility of one Money in the Bank this year, they're going to have to pick certain wrestlers, not just loads of stupid ones. Yeah. They're going to have to pick individual good ones, and I think Cody Rhodes is at the stage now. He's had his rematch for the IC Championship. He lost in a really good way, and now it's time for him to be put into scenes where he's been building up towards a chance where we can believe him. Yeah, he might not win Money in the Bank, but believe that he has a chance.
And let's face it, the guy could carry the briefcase, he can talk, he has charisma, so why not give him the briefcase? Kind of similar to like a Wade Barrett. Maybe give him the briefcase if he returns in time for Money in the Bank.
I think that's the thing, because that's when we go to overall thoughts, I'll come a bit more of that, but it was a good match for what it was, and a match I was personally looking forward to on this card.
Definitely so. And then we got our number one contenders tag team match. And the first thing that struck me here was, even though this was added last minute, was kind of, wow, WWE have 5 tag teams. It's just a shame they can't write for these 5 tag teams, despite the fact they do have some good to decent tag teams in this, in this match.
I do want to thank WWE because they did a really great job at letting us know that we're going to get a special match that is something that we've been really interested in, yes, because this is a tag match that WWE lack. So thanks WWE for letting us know about this. But getting to the match, I do like the fact that they're actually putting all the tag teams they have in a match. But the whole thing is, Justin Gable's return, proper return, and he's not really hyped up for a return. Yeah, they did in the past, and that failed. But he just came back, got into this match, and his booking this match weren't as good as probably the fans would want to see from Gabriel.
No, and I think, this match was pretty decent, in my opinion. It's just nice to see some freaking tag action for once on a pay-per-view. And I must admit, the match itself was pretty decent, but I think the more of the concentration would pretty much go on the ending when you had Abraham Washington. It's like Abraham Washington, Epico and Primo haven't been on TV for weeks, and now all of a sudden, Abraham Washington is with the primetime players, and in my opinion, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. Why not do that? You're not going to push Epico and Primo. Push fucking the primetime players of Abraham Washington. Those guys are about money. Millions and millions of dollars. Abraham Washington is a businessman. It makes total sense.
That's very true. As much as I want to agree with that, I personally thought Justin Gable and Tyson Kidd deserve better compared to the prime time, like their names are, because their booking recently, again, I've said this past matches, their booking doesn't really make me believe that they're a reliable tag team to go on, because they've lost matches, had short matches. But with Abraham Washington there, maybe their careers will change. It's just that when I looked at this, I really had my money on someone else. And the other thing is, quickly, they attacked another heel tag team.
Yeah. So they're probably going to turn face. I don't know, unless it's a way of writing them off TV or something. Because let's face it, Epic and Premier haven't been relevant in quite some time now.
Yeah, just get rid of another tag team in the WWE.
That would leave us 4. So it looks like O'Neal and Young, the primetime players, are going to get a #1 contendership. And with R-Truth's broken foot, you would think that they would win the belts, especially now they have a talker in Abraham Washington.
I do see them coming a tag champ just to give someone else the belt, someone new. It's just that their booking hasn't made believe them they can be any good.
No, but then again, you could also say Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd haven't even been on TV. So,
but fans seem to like them, and Justin Gabriel's return match, what a brilliant way to bring him back. But we'll see what comes up in the next few weeks.
I think the right team won, but that's just my opinion because of AW. I love AW so much. FCW legend for the win. We then had our Triple H promo. She's got a new shirt, by the way. He's got a Triple H shirt. He thought he'd just show it off for all you guys. Where's my Cody Rhodes shirt? It's in the fucking wash. Thanks, Mum. So this Triple H promo, I'm not going to say a word here. I'm going to let you talk because I just didn't really find this very interesting at all.
Like we said in our preview, we expected something more to get added to this, but just like TNA sometimes do, they try and hype up future pay-per-views, and with Triple H obviously being the one who's running stuff around here, him being in the segment here was good to see because the fans liked it. It gave us direction for later pay-per-views, and hopefully now they mention this, we're going to get a build-up between these next 2 months of Heyman, Lesnar. So even though it weren't the greatest, he has opened the door for a 2-month build to something that could be great. And
you pretty much echoed my thoughts there, NJ. Even though this promo segment wasn't really that interesting, it sets the groundwork for a big SummerSlam match / angle between Triple H and Brock Lesnar. So we'll see what happens with that on the TV show now. Layla versus Beth Phoenix for the Divas Championship. They didn't really have much TV time, and the first couple of minutes of this match were kind of like, what the fuck? It was pretty shit in my opinion. But then the last couple of minutes were not bad. They were pretty decent. Just the first couple of minutes were just ugh.
Yeah, they don't really seem like Beth Phoenix weren't being the frustrated diva that she should be, the diva that goes crazy and dominant. Layla was playing trying to make Beth looked good by running away and all that stuff, really building up, but building up to the finish. I think it was pretty nicely done, and Beth looked strong, maybe not as strong as she should do, and Layla got the win. This could be hyping up to something else, but I just think it was okay Divas match and got pretty good time.
It got about 7 minutes, which is some pretty good time, especially when you consider they got Beth Phoenix and Layla in there. Layla gets the victory. No real surprise there. She wins with the net breaker. Just a very uninteresting Divas match because they haven't really been able to build any kind of feud between these two. It's just a bit disappointing, but there we go. Typical Divas booking there for WWE. Speaking of typical WWE booking, we got another filler match on the show. It was Hunico versus Sin Cara, a match which we've seen many, many times now.
With the WWE's roster, they do have a large roster, as we're going to get to a bit later, as we'll point out. It's just that with this, yes, this hasn't been hyped up. There's many other wrestlers that are not being used that could be used just to make something different that we haven't seen. But we were given this match, and I think the WWE think these two can work okay together because they both communicate. But it really weren't the greatest of matches, not really.
I've got 2 points about this match. Number one, the We Want Ryder chants. When you get a We Want Ryder chants and you're trying to push a guy like Sin Cara, it kind of tells you that his momentum has gone and it's time to get off the fucking pot with Sin Cara because it's not working anymore. And second thing I want to say is they didn't do a massive spot fest in this match, and Hunico slowed the match down a little bit, and the match was better because of it, in my opinion, despite the fact that it wasn't like the greatest match or anything. It was filler, but Hunico dominating meant that there wasn't loads of crazy spots and crazy botches. It was a solid filler match that I really didn't care about.
That's the way to look at it, yeah.
Pretty much the best I can put it. Triple Threat WWE Championship match was next. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan versus Kane. I want to quickly get your thoughts on AJ and Kane having that little passionate kiss backstage.
Well, as you might know, AJ hasn't been the greatest thing for me because I think she just gets too involved. But then, obviously, as the Go-Home show, she got a lot better. And this segment of her going to individual one, then going to Kane last and kissing, and obviously what comes up at the end of the match, it really makes me think that she's in a way picked who she wants to maybe have some kind of connection with, and keeping Kane in a bit of a upper hand in the WWE. But it's definitely got my interest in what they're going to do next.
Your big red monster is taking my girl. But anyway, we'll move on to the match itself. Daniel Bryan gets another total face reaction. The WWE really need to. They really need to stop fighting the grain with this because every pay-per-view and every TV show on Raw is getting face reactions.
I think the WWE, the reason they're not turning in face is because if they turn in face, that's a heel gone, and they're going to be struggling, especially with all these dropouts. Maybe when we've had the turns like Jericho, Barrett, and Cody Rhodes gets to push up higher, maybe then they'll have more of a comfortable enough to turn Bryan face, which is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, I think so too. They do need baby faces, especially when guys like Orton, Jericho, people like Barrett return. So this match got about 18 minutes. It was a pretty good match. I think the match was good. It's just I was expecting from the way they hyped this up and featured AJ, I was expecting a little bit more from AJ, and what I got, I thought AJ was the deciding factor in this match, but I expected a little bit more from it. It just the way they really hyped her up and concentrated on the AJ character.
My worry for this match was AJ in a way, because we know that we've got Bryan and Punk to put on great quality matches, and added on Kane, so there was something big going on here. I think too much of AJ, in my opinion, would have affected people's viewing of the three wrestlers in the ring. I'm glad they saved the whole thing. Oh, where's AJ? Where's AJ? And left it to the last minute. And I just thought pretty nicely booked.
You could say her involvement was, minimal, so there wasn't too much overbooking. I just thought with the whole story revolving around AJ, the story should be that she had the effect on the match, and it wasn't really as much of an effect as I thought it would. But Kane ate the pin, so you have to imagine they're leading to maybe a CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan rematch, possibly at Money in the Bank. I'm just putting it out there.
The way I see it is the fact that Kane was pinned thanks to because AJ ran down when Punk was attacking Kane, blah blah, knocked to the apron and all that. It's making me think that yes, Bryan did not get pinned, so he's going to probably bring that up. But Kane got pinned, so he's going to probably think, no, I'm not setting for this. I want to be still involved. So I'm expecting maybe another three-way going for the Money in the Bank, and then a singles match at SummerSlam, so like that. But this match, I'd say it's pretty nicely done, worth the hype. AJ questionable from different points of views, but I quite like this match.
A good match. I wasn't too sure about how they did the AJ in terms of telling the story. That it was really subjective to tell. But anyway, we'll move on. Ryback versus two local jobbers again, but this time we have to pay for it. I'll say one thing though. Vince McMahon really wants to push Ryback when he is before the main event, don't you? Feed me free? Dare we feed him free? Do you have anything more to say about that match?
Feed him a WWE wrestler for flip's sake. This is getting repetitive now.
Rinse, lather, repeat. Rinse, lather, repeat.
That's pretty much it.
Should we move on to the main event, which has kind of got rinse, lather, repeat aspects about it? John Cena versus Big Show. In a steel cage match, if Show lost, Johnny Ace would be fired. If John Cena lost, he would get fired. Let's just quickly touch on the match itself. It was a very slow-paced match. It was kind of boring at times. I do understand they're trying to get heat on Big Show, but the match was kind of boring. And that's the one thing that stood out for me. The match was boring. It told a decent story for what it was, the big guy dominating Cena, etc. But it was so boring to watch.
That's the thing, because when it comes to big guy and little guy, you do have the big guy playing around, teasing, That's what he did for majority of the first part of the match. He just played around with Cena, knocking him out and all that. But when I go into this match, one of the first things I thought was, at Extreme Rules, Lesnar destroyed Cena. What makes us believe that Big Show could get the job done? That's when I was going into this match. I think, okay, we're going to believe that Lesnar can do it, but Big Show can.
Johnny Ace managed to do it, though. But unfortunately, he wasn't keeping his job for much longer here because, of course, you had Big Show knock out the refs, and then you had Brodus Clay on the outside with a steel chair, and then all of Big Show's victims tried to slay him, and they all get knocked out by Big Show. It's like, wow, how much shit is going on here?
There is 2 points I want to quickly make. Number one, Big Show hit a member of Authority. I know that match is 5 now, but maybe he'll get fined if that rule is still
$500,000
by Big Show's career or his money. And the thing is about all these faces come out.
Oh, yeah.
Brodus Clay was good enough to make sense. Brodus Clay and Big Show. Then he calls up loads of others. Santino, Riley.
They did get knocked out by him, didn't they? In previous shows, Santino, Kofi Kingston, all those guys, Alex Riley. So it did make sense.
It's just not the best. It's just weird. They've done that on Raw. They had all faces jump out on Big Show, and I just thought I was happy with Brodus Clay, but whatever. And
in a funny piece of irony, NJ, the person you hate had to win in order for something that you wanted to happen happen. And John Cena got the victory. And I really think this was a sign that WWE are kind of putting the breakers on this whole Big Show versus Cena feud because it wasn't really drawing in much ratings and stuff. So I kind of feel that this has been done because WWE realized that no one was interested in this feud. And so they thought, well, let's just pay it off now. And Johnny Ace gets fired and gets AA through the table. Vince McMahon says his 2 patented words.
You're fired!
Yeah, and I'm a Johnny Ace fan. I really didn't like seeing that. But there's a lot of people out there, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like Johnny Ace, that will be glad to see him be fired, and that will be one of the reasons why they paid for the pay-per-view.
We almost got our prediction correct because Big Show and John Cena come at the same time, almost fell out, but that didn't happen, so they scrapped that. So now that Laurinaitis got fired on a small filler pay-per-view, which makes me think that somehow he's going to come back to have one more run without a job or something like that. But the match, even with the result, I still don't care.
No.
I don't care.
Didn't care either. I mean, yeah, it was the right main event, but goddamn, the match was boring. We didn't care about John Cena versus Big Show. They added the stipulation in which made me care a little bit, but Johnny Ace got fired, and I like Johnny Ace, and so I didn't like the result as much as that sounds stupid.
People power is now over.
Unfortunately so. But people power is still rampant in the British fist because you can leave your thoughts on this pay-per-view down in that comment section below. Before we go into it, I just want to get your quick thoughts, your overall thoughts on this pay-per-view. Like you said earlier, you had something you wanted to say in your overall thoughts.
Yeah, it just was a pay-per-view that I thought was interesting, but the main thing is it hasn't really gave me much direction for the future apart from the main matches. And that's the other thing, the WWE, for the majority of the pay-per-view, concentrate more on like Cody Rhodes, Cena, the main guys that are actually going to go somewhere, and the little guys just get stupid like Santino, Bros Clay. Just makes me think that the WWE's booking for wrestlers is just not as good as it should be when it could have been better.
The Sheamus Ziggler match was a good opener. The Christian Cody Rhodes match was good. The WWE Championship match was good. The matches that were built up were pretty decent apart from the main event, but at least that gave us a bit of a payoff to the whole Johnny Ace character, which has been built up lately. I like the whole thing they did with Abraham Washington and the tag teams. At least they're featuring some tag teams. But the first hour was pretty good. The second hour was kind of lull. And then the WWE Championship match happened. And then the main event happened. So it's kind of half and half with me. It was half of it was a good show. But the other half was total crap. So I give it a C. It was better than I expected, though.
I'll give it a C+, just because there were things in it. They built the card better, which was the worry going into it, even if it was filler.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a C+. The entertainment weren't there, so that's why it gets no higher.
Pretty much, guys, you leave us your thoughts in the comment section below. Like I said earlier, we want to hear your thoughts on this pay-per-view, and so I'm sure you guys have a variety of thoughts, which we may agree or disagree with. One thing you cannot disagree with is the fact that NJ is going to cut an awesome little promo to end this damn review.
Thank you very much, people. This has been a No Way Out that we're going to forget.
Yeah, no way out with it.
All I can say from Mr. Parkin and me, the game, Triple H, Niall, NJ, whatever you want to call me, all I can say now, people, is Cena won. We're out of here. Goodbye.